Brandon Childs here again for another NBA draft preview. This one I'll be talking all about the Washington Wizards. I'm going to take a look at what they have, what they need based on their roster and their stats from last season, and who would be their best fit at their pick number 3. The Wizards have a really interesting roster to me. Looks like if you go down the list, they have a complete roster. They have John Wall, who averaged 18 points and 8 assists per game, and he was clearly the floor general that the Wizards were looking for and needed after missing 33 games due to a knee injury. They also have shooting guard Bradley Beal out of Florida, who they drafted last season, and is a sharp-shooting, fairly athletic player who uses his explosiveness to finish at the rim. He also drew early comparisons to Ray Allen because of his shooting stroke, and he's another player who has a lot of potential, and I believe he and John Wall can comprise to become one of the best backcourts in the league one day. The Wizards also had Trevor Ariza last season at the small forward position, and they tried to use him as a stopgap, but they really need to find a more long-term, higher potential option at the small forward position in this year's draft. And then we moved to their front line where they had Nene Hilario and Emeka Okafor playing. Emeka Okafor is a more defensive force, and he helped to lock down the paint last season, whereas Nene has a more offensive mindset, and his best work is done in the mid-range and post areas. I personally think that the Wizards' offensive stats from last season are a bit skewed. As I mentioned earlier, John Wall sat out the first 33 games of the season. Two bright spots for the Wizards last season were definitely on defense, where they ranked 8th in points allowed and 9th in rebounds per game. I feel like the best option for the Wizards in this draft is Otto Porter Jr. out of Georgetown. He's not really an offensive pick, and he has a more defensive mindset really, but I think based on what the Wizards did with John Wall back in the lineup, he'll provide the necessary glue to keep this team together on defense and be able to knock down an open jumper. He can create a little off the dribble, and he finds his teammates with relative ease. He also is a high character player and high motor player, which will continually revitalize the Wizards locker room even if they have a bad season. There have been some reports of the Wizards looking to trade their number 3 pick to the Bulls for Luol Deng, which would fill their need at small forward. And at that point, I feel like the Bulls should then take Ben McLemore to pair alongside of Derrick Rose in their backcourt, which would probably make them the most explosive backcourt in the league, especially if Derrick Rose can come back healthy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Just 2 videos left talking about the NBA draft, so make sure you share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Thank you again.